let's talk about Brave and the Bold number 6, which is 6 of 6. This is the last one. It starts off where, the king's got the silver arm, and he's opened a kind of a pathway between the Tir Nog and regular Earth, and it happens to be in Gotham City in the Irish Quarter. So he opens it up, and you'll see that there's a big war in it, the war versus the king's brother who came back, and there's a big fight and whatever, and then, all the elementals, kind of like something from Lord of the Rings, everybody's fighting. So then what happens is Diana goes, and the king is fighting. He ends up fighting with the king, fighting each other back and forth, and then Diana comes and basically knocks out, and I don't know if she killed it. They didn't let on that it was killed.
That's kind of like
a cliffhanger type deal.
Kind of the cliffhanger of the book, which I'll explain in a second.
And then Batman, as the people are coming through from the fairy world, he puts everyone to sleep. So you don't see the monsters, and you don't see all the craziness coming through. And then the funny part is, the counselor dies. But then he comes back as a baby. They find him, I guess, because he's a god, and he keeps coming back and coming back. And then at the end,
I was like, oh my god, he died, and then well, he's reborn as as a baby.
Right. So then at the very end, we see that the brother's still alive. He's got that's the evil eye guy, and there's monsters in another land. And then it says, we hope you never find out about these monsters. Then it says, end of book 1. What?
Yeah, you know what? When I was reading it, I was like, wait, what? And then it's like, oh, end of book 1. Oh, so they're gonna
how they're gonna sum it up.
They're gonna explore more in a book 2, or I doubt they'll do a book 3, but maybe it'll be a book 2. Brave and the Bold. 2.
Maybe it's Batman and someone else. Maybe who knows?
Maybe we'll have to see. But this was pretty good. Just my only thing is that it was a mini series that was like, it was a mini series, but then it's end of book 1, which I'm kind of iffy about, because I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do a mini series, then just end it there. Just have this as its own book. Now it's like, okay, now we got to get Brave and the Bold 2 or whatever the next thing is that'll lead into the next one.
Right.
So I don't know, but I'm kind of excited for it as well. That there's going to be a book 2.
Right.
So, or we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, because sometimes books get canceled, and So I mean, if they were going to do a book 2, then they might as well have done like 12 issue maxi, and then book 2 would be the other 6 issues, something like that. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Although it was good, the whole series was good.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's a lot of unanswered questions that's going to have to be answered.
Yeah, hopefully book 2.
In the second set of books or whatever.
I think what happened was maybe this sold pretty good, and they were like, oh well, let's do a book 2 and explore more. I hope that's what happened.
It could have just ended the way it was, and everybody goes about their lives and stuff, and the gods are.
Well, if it said just Finn or end of. If it didn't say end of book 1, then this would have been horrible. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, okay, now it makes sense. They're going to expand more on it. Makes sense, because it seemed very like all over the place, and it's like, okay, now but in book 2 we're going to show this stuff.
Right.
But if that was it for this, this would not have been a good issue. But what would you give Brave and the Bold 6?
I guess I give it an 8. It was good. The artwork was really good.
Oh my god, the artwork is as beautiful as it's been this whole series. The art has been amazing. It's been fantastic art. So yeah, I give it an 8 as well. It's pretty good end to it.
Right.
But I can't wait for book 2, and we'll have to see what happens with that. But let's go to Marvel. Check out Avengers number 5. So the series has been pretty good so far. What do you think of the series as a whole far?
So far, so good.
Yeah, and the whole thing with the Celestials, I was like, oh, another Save the World plot. But I mean, Jason Aaron is writing it pretty well, and I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. So basically, we see that the Celestial from billions of years ago,
4 billion years ago,
4 billion years ago, with young Odin, basically kind of like vomited and created life and was dying.
The Celestial was dying, and his fluids made. There's it's supposed to be like the superhumans and humanity and all this stuff. So the Celestials and Loki are coming back to destroy the Earth because they're like the humans are bacteria from the Celestial, and it's like they've been breeding and it's almost like a disease. So they want to destroy the Earth to get rid of the disease.
Yeah, and I mean Loki and Cap have a little bit of just a bit of a banter, and then Ghost Rider swoops in and saves.
Right. We also find out that the Celestials came back to find. So there was the one Celestial who was sick, and then they said it was his mate or her mate, but we don't know. They said they don't have that. And then they defeated Loki. They defeated Odin and all the other prehistoric Avengers. But for some reason, the Celestials left, and one stayed below the Earth, and the other one was buried again. So, you get like a little backstory.
Yeah, and then Ghost Rider comes and saves Cap. Doctor Strange and Iron Man are just also trying to figure out what's going on, and Iron Man's got this plan. Ghost Rider is driving across like the ocean, and they go to what was it, like Poland or something, or Russia, and the Dark Celestials are laying waste to Russia, and then Captain Marvel and Black Panther come, and they're like, okay, so we kind of figured things out about the locusts, and then they're like, okay, well, like, then Thor and She-Hulk show up with the egg, and then they eat it, and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. Let's, and then basically like they get really big.
Right, they're like celestial size.
They're basically celestial size. Iron Man has this big armor.
The God Killer armor.
Yeah.
And it's the size of a celestial.
Yeah, and he said he had it on Mars for a while. Ghost Rider is able to touch things, touch a vehicle and turn it into like a Ghost Rider type vehicle. So he touched a tractor and he was
rescuing people on the tractor.
Yeah.
So then he gets this bright idea to go and
touch the
well, he's inside the Celestial.
One of the dead Celestials, and there's a double-page splash of this, where we got Iron Man in his armor, She-Hulk and Thor giant, and Ghost Rider giant.
It's pretty good.
Basically as the Celestial.
Thor got bigger and so did the hammer.
Well, yeah. I guess whatever you're touching gets bigger, but...
I guess.
So, that's Avengers number 5. Pretty interesting. What'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good. It's a pretty decent story. They got some old characters and they're bringing in some new characters.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's not bad. It's actually fun to read. It's good to read. Good read.
It's pretty. So that's Avengers number 5. This is one of the best Marvel books I think that's coming out right now. Surprisingly, because I've had that whole thing with Marvel. It's been an issue, and they haven't been doing things right. Personally, I think Marvel Legacy. Then in less than a year, it's like been 6 months, and then they reboot again, or they relaunch, not reboot, relaunch again, which is kind of ridiculous. But I think that it's for the better, honestly, that they were doing this, and I'm hearing good things about like the Immortal Hulk and the Thor book, which I'm not picking up, but which is good to know because now the books are actually good now for Marvel, and that's surprising, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, guys, that's it for this week. Batman 51 did come out this week, but we're going to be talking about that in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. So there's there'll be a card somewhere when that video goes up. I'm not sure when that video will go up, either Tuesday or tomorrow, or whenever I want to get that up. But yeah, guys, so I'm not going to say anything about Batman 51. But go check out that video. So guys, if you liked the video, please like, got any questions, comment down below, and subscribe for more comic-based videos, and we'll see you in the next one.